Good day, everyone. This is Rick. In today's church, in today's modern era, more precise, Christians always want that lovey-dovey good feeling, and there's nothing wrong with that. Don't get me wrong on that. But churches, let's put it this way. I have a feeling that if Jesus were walking the earth today and teaching today, he would not be allowed in most churches because he's too negative. There's the buzzword, negative and positive. We only want positive things in the churches. If you go into a church, you're going to see clapping and laughing and cheering and jumping and praising. You're going to see songs that are full of fluff just to make us feel good. We are like balloons that have holes in them, and rather than fixing the holes, we keep pumping in the air to keep the balloon filled up. We keep dancing and praising and trying to get all that kinds of happiness to keep us pumped up. Church service has become nothing more than pep rallies. And those traditional churches have some elements of that, not as much, but those that don't have as much usually rely on a lot of traditions and ceremonies and solemn occasions that people ritualistically go through just to fill in the blanks, and they go off to their lives, feeling justified for another week. Jesus, when he taught, he taught a lot of love and peace, but it was spiritual. But Jesus also gave warnings. Lots of warnings. In fact, more warnings and what we would call today negative talk came from Jesus' teachings than the positive. And those things that he taught about coming close to God and getting to know God and living in his peace and having the joy in our hearts, being removed from adversity, all of that stuff he was talking spiritually, because we have to live in this world. We have to live in this within the world that's full of sin. Lot was in stress. He was in, or duress, I think is a better word for it, living in Sodom because of all the ungodliness around him. God will bring us and elevate us above that spiritually so that we can handle it and deal with it. But when the warnings come, we have to be mindful of them. So I'm going to focus on one particular warning real quick here that Jesus talked about. And this is what he said in Luke. Let me take a look, see exactly where it was so you can read it. Luke chapter 12, verses 51 to 53. This is the warning that he gives. He says, I didn't come to bring peace. I came to bring division. Now, he's talking about the world here. Because when you come to Christ, you're going to be divided from your friends and your family and associates. You will be. There's no escaping it. Now, I'm not talking about animosity, because plenty of Christians have families who are not believing, who are very loving and kind and respectful of each other. But there are some who animosity springs in. Peter told us, oh no, was it James? I think it was James told us, they're going to wonder why you don't partake with them anymore. You're going to wonder why, they're going to wonder why you don't do the things with them that you used to do. That division will create a barrier between you and them, no matter how much love there is. Look at Jesus in the Gospel of Mark. His mother and brothers came to see him and bring him home because they thought he was getting a little bit too crazy. He was going a little overboard. And this is from a mother who had the divine revelation from the angel Gabriel himself. Now, I'm not saying they weren't spiritual, but they were still affected by the world. They were concerned that Jesus maybe wasn't quite fulfilling what Gabriel told her he was fulfilling. His brothers certainly didn't believe in him. In the Gospel of John, they talked about his brothers mocking him and telling him, hey, why don't you go down to Jerusalem? You're saying all these great things about yourself. Show yourself to them. And he said, it's not my time. You better be prepared for it, because it's going to happen. And it's going to cause a great amount of duress, and there's going to be great temptation to conform, at least enough to where they're not going to be negative toward you. Don't conform. Stay in Christ. It is up to them. You will embrace Him, but it's up to them whether they want to embrace you. Until next time, God bless.